Hi guys, this is me, Carrot Dev, and this is my first time devlogging, so I apologize for any noob mistakes I might be doing. Um, this is for my game of Carrots and Courage, which is going to be a JRPG slash platformer, just like the old school Paper Mario. You run around, you save princesses, you get partners, and those partners have overworld abilities, that sort of thing. And my main focus is not to make a game that will have financial success and rock the indie world. I am mostly doing this for my kid who has a pink plush bunny called Aga, which is also the name of the protagonist of Carrots and Courage. And yeah, my main goal is to just make a game that she's gonna enjoy and that is just like a love letter to her, and also a gentle nudge towards JRPGs in general, because I want my daughter to grow up just as nerdy as I am. I'm gonna start on the code side of things, and it wouldn't be like a good Paper Mario like game if you couldn't bonk things. And this is basically what I implemented with I did a 2 frame animation, just like the wind up and the push down. And yeah, like you can see here, Aga can swing their sword. And basically, like what happens on the code side is I'm creating a box either on the left or the right of my character model, and it checks for collision. If there's anything called a hittable object, it's just gonna bonk it. On the code side, it basically looks like this. I have this hit zone left and right. I know I can do this better. I'm just gonna talk about it later. But for now, what it basically does is my hit detector doesn't on trigger enter and will just call the on hit event that I give the hittable object. Just setting it as an hittable object and giving it a rigid body, and the rigid body is kinematic, so it doesn't actually interacts with the physics in an unintended way, but just gives me the option to check for collisions on it. And this is how I keep bonking things in the overworld of this game. I call it bonking because it's not really a slash, it's just a gentle bonk with the sword. For now, it's also just like a 2 frame animation, but I'll get on that later. What I also did, which is very similar to the bonking, is I added, as you can see, I have this little box going around my character, depending on where I move. And this checks for interactable objects. Like this one is an exclamation point, this is a question mark, which I also tried to animate badly. And you also have this speech bubble, kind of. And what it does, it checks what kind of object this is, obviously, and allows me to have both dialogues and events happening, and also just simple pop-up messages. And I'll probably use this for interactable objects like switches. This may be for pickups, the exclamation point, and obviously the speech bubble for dialogues. On the code side of things, I have a dialogue manager, which looks like this. And for the most part, it's just the dialogue manager loads in the dialogues from a scene, and any hittable object or any interactable object has the information as an interaction item, as seen here, telling you the interaction type and the dialogue ID. There probably be more in the future, like if I do not want a dialogue ID, there's some extra script that I can call, but for now it's just this. And the idea for the dialogue manager is actually that I can load in the files that I will use for any scene as dialogue. And it just, it's gonna store it in there and call them as needed. I don't know if this is the most optimal system. Let me know if I'm being silly with this and if there's a way better implementation for this. Regarding the system and the management stuff of Carrots and Courage is I switched to a Jira Kanban board, which is kind of like Trello, where I have like different tasks and different groups of tasks, and I've been using that to like type up all the features and ideas I had, and I'm just gonna use it and reuse it to yeah, to fill up all my tasks. Like if I have a backlog of tasks, I can just like pick something and like, okay, I wanna fix that. And yeah, it's really great. Like if you this is not sponsored or anything, but if you want to check out Jira or Trello, definitely use it. It's fun. Also, I decided that I will outsource the music for the game. I have like a little bit of experience regarding music, and I do have vision for the music style of this game, but I am also not properly equipped to handle the music. So I reached out to a composer, and I'll hope he and I will manage to find a vision for this game, and then I can use the little funds that I do have to pay this man to make beautiful music for my game. And also, I am working on the demo of Carrots and Courage, which will probably include most of the first chapter for this game. And so you can, get a feel for the game and how the story and how the writing works out for you. And that will also be revealed soon. The first chapter is gonna be the Cirque Celeste. Speaking of the circus, I started doing concept art for this area. Still not too sure about it, but I will go for a moon, star, and sun theme for the circus because this is going to be a major element in the game, or like rather the elements you have in the game are the element of the sun, the element of the moon, and the element of the star. Which brings us to the ringmaster of the Cirque Celeste, this beautiful fella. I'm very thankful for the design. It is not done by me. It was done by a friend who is a great artist, and I'm very thankful for the design he did. Yeah, this guy looks exactly like he's supposed to. He's the big, mean ringmaster of the circus, and you can probably guess that he's going to play a major role, but he's not gonna be the playable partner you will gain from that chapter. Who is a playable partner in a later chapter is going to be this guy, Reishi. I started cleaning up a lot of my designs. You may have seen him in my 200 follower post on Twitter, which, by the way, follow me on Twitter. And I just, like, I cleaned up a lot of the lines, a lot of the shading, did a little redesign on his beard, especially. And yeah, I can wait to actually implement his abilities in the overworld because they're gonna be fun. And I also did concept art on this hub area. It will play an important part in the demo because it will allow me to have an excuse to load levels that aren't properly connected to each other yet. So I'm focusing on this hub area first. And it will also play an important role in the finished game. This is the black and white version. I'm not a biggest fan of the color. But yeah, this is what I did so far. And this brings me to the end of my devlog with a little telling you guys what's up ahead, what I'm planning to do. One thing I really want to focus on is the optimization of a lot of my code because right now, as it is, the bonking and the interaction, they work under two different classes and they can probably share the same class since they do the same thing but with a different button. Like one is bonking, one is jumping slash interacting. And I mean, my code is very early on. There's a million ways to fix this up and make this better. Another thing I am going to do is work on a node system for the dialogue because the dialogue can definitely gain and profit from a sort of visual note system, so I have an easier time setting up dialogue trees and like the flow of things, decision making, that sort of thing. And I would also like this note system to be exportable, so I can generate my files for scenes and just like, can hot load them in another language. Another thing I just like kind of want to get my head on because I haven't done it before is parallax scripting. Right now I just have like a pretty skybox but nothing else. And how to view the character when it's hidden behind objects. Something that I haven't shown yet in this devlog is the combat, which I do have here. And like it has all the basic stuff combat script needs, but the UI is very basic, and you also do not have any sort of indicator what is actually happening other than the hitbox is changing, and you do not have a win or lose condition. And I just want to get that done for the demo. Like have basic combat work with all that is intended to be. What I'm also gonna do is hopefully finally get a walk cycle done, because for now my character is beautifully floating around the ground like some sort of specter, and I should get a walk cycle done. Also, what I don't have is coyote time. Like you fall down, you drop, and like get this little bit of air. Speaking of jumping, something that has been bothering me is the way I currently handle the jump, because you do have a very um very precise jump. Like I can slowly tap it, but I can also do a long jump, but I think the long jump is too high. The high jump rather. Like I'd rather have it be one consistent hop, but it's been bothering me and I want to try to change it and see if this feels more fun. If it's a smaller jump, because right now you can jump over pretty much everything and I don't want that. And also gonna play around with the camera a little bit, because it does a few things right, but it also does a whole lot of things not completely right yet. Like for example this. But there's things that the camera can be optimized on, and I'll figure that out. But yeah, this is what I'm planning to do, and I hope I see you guys soon. And thank you very much for watching, and take care. Bye bye.